Hello, hello, hello. We're live. I think we're live. And I've got a few people here already to say hi to. Hi, Dar. Hi, Barbara. Chicken pot pie. Hi, Janet. Let's do some show and tell. Yes. If you're watching the replay, you can zoom forward to where you see stuff happening. And sometimes I will actually even put a timestamp. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes people let me know what timestamp to put in. Hi, Keeks. Hi, Dede. Woohoo. So I was very excited to get my Dede disc collage. It's so awesome. Most of you that watch me know Dede Willingham, and she did another awesome live stream this morning, and this is the collage she sent me. I hope I'm on the camera. And there's a little robot from the Robotropica. So I had to get that book, the Robotropica. And an alien. I think I'm going to have to get that book too. I can't remember what the book that's from. And then she used some of my gel prints in the background. And she was very sweet, and she mailed that to me. So thank you, Dede. And we're going to be doing some Dede-inspired projects today. We're just going to catch up on what we did last week. Hi, Linda. Hi, Joanne. So this was the page that we did some botanical printing last week. So then I took the page and I used a brayer off to add to the bottom and the side and the top. And then I just used my Inktense pencils to colorize it, because we used the color cube for the color inspiration. And I had used a magazine to pick this up, like to take the paint off of the plants, around the plants. And we had an inadvertent image transfer there. So we were talking about maybe we should add a head to that. So I did. I added a fish head from Something's Fishy, this one here. And I added a robot bird from the Robotropica book. And like I said, I used the Inktense pencils to colorize some of the weeds. And some of this here, I colorized that. And I wrote, theirs was a forbidden love. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. And then the other thing I did was I forgot when I pulled it that this image here that we did last week, two things. I forgot I had pulled it on washi paper that Janet had sent me. And I forgot that there was an inadvertent image transfer of an eye in the corner as well. So I decided to kind of start putting some collage pages in this Frank Lloyd Wright book that Lindy had sent me that I showed last time. So this was a page I'd done in 2024, and then I put these washies on here. And then I also fussy cut the remaining washi and put it in my washi sample book. So this part of the image here, I just kind of cut around, you know, that was like a dandelion piece. This was some bubble wrap. And then I just kind of made these little alien plant kind of things. And I put on the page that had the fish in behind there. So I also put a piece of washi print here. And then when you turn the page, I kind of added some, I'm going to make this kind of like flowers. Like I don't know if I'm going to doodle around that, but I just kind of kept collaging the washi paper to make something so that when you turn it, you still get an image. So that was lots of fun. Just kind of fooling around with that. Oh, my chat stopped. Hi, Lizanne. Hi, Zandra. Hi, Anlar. Hope your appointment went well. I kind of there's like a 6-second clip and it just couldn't really understand what you said, but I'm glad everything's good. Hi, Diane. Hi, Jane. Diane sent me a link to some medical exam paper. I ordered it. I did get it. I haven't used it yet, so we'll play with that next time. Did I say hi, Jane? Hi, Jane. Hey, Pamela. Hi, Julie Parker. Hi, Lisa Welch. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Christine. Hi, Kristen. Wow, everybody's coming out of the woodwork. The other thing on this page you might notice is this beautiful flower here. So that came from some happy mail from Elizabeth Jensen. So she sent me a whole bunch of stuff. So these are all hand-drawn fodder that she made. I'm just going to see on the camera if put this cord back there. See if you guys can see. Okay, pull it back a bit. So she made all these birds and these eyes, these mushrooms, and then she made all these little stamps, these faux stamps. Some are fabric, like this one's fabric. This one's fabric. She sewed it even. Like the image and the background is fabric. That one's fabric. That one's fabric. Hope you guys can see these okay. Another fabric one. That's a fabric one. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. Hi, Beth. And then that's fabric, just the front part. And she didn't sew that one. It might be sticky fabric. So some are sewed and some are not. Like this one's sewed and some are not sewn. They're just glued on. And then she made some other stamp ephemera. These are very passport journal reminiscent. So I don't know if these are leftovers from the ATC swap. And then she made these, so you take pieces of leftover paper and you put it on packing tape and you make snippets. So this is a no-sew snippet. And then sometimes she would actually sew it too. And she has a channel, Madness at Bay. I will link it below. But look at all these cool papers, like these little snippets she made. Oops, that piece came off. And then she did this card. So that's a collage jelly printed card. Hi, Rachel. And yeah, so that's her channel name, the Madness at Bay. And then she sent me these handmade papers too. So these are with, yeah, they're actually stitched. And then I don't know if it feels like there's glue applied. This one is not stitched, but it looks like she took away the glue. These are going to be fun on the gel plate. So I'm not going to do that today, but we'll probably do that next week. Look at that. These are very cool. These are going to be fun to use on the gel plate for the texture they're going to give, but also like this is going to get painty. Look at that one. That feels like, I don't know what kind of paper that is. So check out her channel. I'll put a link in the chat there. Look at that. That's all sewn, right? But it feels, I don't know what kind of paper she does it on, or if she adds glue to it, but it feels very, can you hear it? Yes, great texture. And then this one has little bits of fabric glued on. And that one too. So you could put it down this way and it's more subtle. So thank you very much, Elizabeth. I'm going to see if I can just grab her channel real quick here. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and share that. Link. Sorry, you're looking at my elbow. There. So there's Elizabeth Jensen's channel, The Madness at Bay. All right, so I'm going to put this aside. And then the other show and tell I wanted to do, so she made this flower too. The other show and tell I wanted to show was I did a flip through of my Sophia journal. So it's been completed and there's a video of that. So check that out. And then for this video, I linked the stream where I did a flip through of Sophia's journal of papers I had sent her that she completed. So there's 2 flip throughs if you're bored and you want something to do. What else? Oh, and then on Monday, Dede was talking about a meander journal, and I said I would show my meander journal. This was the one we did a big piece of paper, like a master board, but we jelly printed both sides, and then we cut it and folded it, and then we added art by Marlene, and we added some snark. So I'm hoping I'm centered there. So I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't know if I wrote a date. I should put a date on this. So this is a meander journal. This was a lot of fun to do. That was a fun stream. And then I believe I cut half of it off and I did a giveaway. I gave away half of it. So this is just a quick little flip through, and then it meanders to the other side. So now we're on the other side of it. And that's all using the Art by Marlene ephemera from her big collection pack. And I think that's the end. So if you unwrap it, you unravel it, unmeandering. So it was a big piece of paper. I think it was this big. And then I did all the cuts, kind of like a big zine. And then I ended up cutting this part and giving it away with some of the Art by Marlene snark. So if you didn't see that stream and you want to check it out, I will try to remember to link it below. Hi, Robin. I don't know if Elizabeth's here, but if you're watching, Elizabeth, thank you so much for the Happy Mail. I haven't seen you in chat yet. Okay. And then on Monday, Janet M. Young was doing some watercolor, and I played along for a change. So I didn't get any housework done, but I did get this done. And this is using that some Daniel Smith watercolors, Roosevelt Marine, Moonglow, Carbazole. I think I started with Carbazole, and then I end up with Imperial. I don't know which one I used, so I put both on there. And then the gold is that Kuretake gold mica ink that Janet and Dede enabled me to buy. So this is it here. But Janet, I think I'm going to have to get one of those ruling pens. So there's that Kuretake ink. There's the ISBN. So it's beautiful. Hi. Oh, I said hi to you, Julie, right? Oh, hi, Mimi Hoarder Paper Crafts. Art by Marlene is on your wish list, Beth. Yeah, I think I had it ordered in to my scrapbook store a few years ago. All right. So the other thing is, I think we talked about all the stuff I showed there. So the other thing I think I'm going to do today is I'm really inspired by Dede's collage disc, and also by Coloring View. She's been starting her reverse collage journey, and I haven't really worked in mine in a while. I do have a flip through of this book, so I don't have any of the abandoned places, but I did find this book, Unforgettable Ancient Sites, on sale at bookstore. So I think I got it for $10, which is pretty good for Canadian price. So I do have a flip through of this book of what I've done. And Dede explains. So if you don't know Dede, check out her channel. Maybe someone can put her link in. But I think if you watch my channel, you pretty much know about Dede Willingham. And if you don't, why not? So I like ancient things. I like space. I like the ocean. So I'm just going to flip through. I do have a full flip through of this. So I'm just going to quickly flip through some of my pages. So Dede explains reverse collage. So you take images that are there and then you paint out and you add to it. So that's what reverse collage is. Hi, Utah. Good to see you. I think I said it right. So I pulled out some Collage Soup images that I thought we could use. So this one here, so here's a non-worked on page, and these dolphin drawings reminded me of the Something's Fishy book by Collage Soup. That's this one here. And so I just kind of pulled out some things. So I'm not sure which page we're going to work on, but I'm just going to show you my vision and we'll see what evolves. So I thought I could put these seahorses here. I thought this lady would look cool, kind of, oh, this one here would look cool in the corner. If I can like line up her hat to kind of go with the buildings. You know, you can kind of, with collage, you kind of line things up. It's kind of cool. And then I made myself a note to do an image transfer of this side here before I cut this up. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was Dede is very experienced at collage. She knows what she likes and she just dives in and uses it, and it's awesome. I'm newer, I'm slower, I'm more hesitant. So what I do when I take a book, a page, what I've been starting to do, when I take a book out of the Collage Soup book, I take the whole page out. So I would, let's say I want that page, I would take an X-Acto knife. Look away if you don't like knives. Hi, Lindy. And then I just kind of cut out a page. I'm going to do this in real time. So I would cut out a page, and then what I've been doing is I take that page down to my computer and I scan in both sides. So I would label this one Robotropica Butterfly Robot. And then I would scan this page and I would label this Robotropica Canal and Balloons, right? So I might not ever print them out, but now I'm not afraid to use this piece of paper because the quality of this paper is very nice. It's better than any paper I would print out. But now I'm like, I can use that paper. I don't have to worry that I'm ruining the other side. So I don't, that's what I've started doing just recently. So once I pulled it out, I scan it. Then what I do is I'm going to put it, I would put it in the front of my book and then put it back in the holder like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing, if that helps you. So I got it, and I have to take this out. I have to put it somewhere so I remember to scan it. And if you don't have a scanner, you can take a picture of it and then save it as a file. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of zoom through the book, and then we'll pick a page or two and kind of work on them. I don't think I'll get a page finished because I'm not quick like Dede. So I'm just going to show you my thoughts. So check out View. Views of View, Coloring View. She's started her journey. So I think that would look cool there. I would cut these out, put them here after I've painted out the background. I thought these shells might look cool splattered around. But here again, I wrote, do transfer fish on the other side before cutting out shells. So I thought these would be cool to do a transfer because they're high contrast. So some things don't transfer as well. If they're not high contrast, it's harder to do. When I say transfer, I'm talking about a magazine image transfer. And then I thought one of these guys would look cool, like standing over here, right? And you can see I already cut something out, but I'd already, this was the fish I used in that, that page I just showed you about. Theirs was an Unforbidden Love. Hi, Tammy. So that's my thoughts for this page. So I put tabs on the pages that I have Collage Soup thoughts on, and then I put little tabs on pages that are completed. So this was here, and everything else I was painted out or added on. So this was added on, this was added on, and then paint to blend everything. Okay, so I'm just a beginner at this. If you want to see how it's done, check out Dede Streams and her playlist, Altered, no, what's it called? Abandoned Places. So this page I've had like sitting like this for a while. So all was here was the bridges, and I had cut out all these shapes from I think it was from, oh gosh, National Geographic. And then it's just very colorful things and these bowling guys. And I had this sitting here, and I thought, I looked at it today when I was going through, and I thought, well, that would be cool to put like a surfer guy from the Robotropica. I could put him, I could cut him out, put him there and have him like, I could cut this ball, I could have him throwing this ball. and then we could make mist and clouds and stuff. So this has been scanned into my computer, or I could put these robots on here, but I think I'm gonna do this guy, but not today. I'm gonna do it off camera. So from time to time, I'll show you guys updates on these pages. Hi, Jackie. And then this one here, this is from Woodland Wonders. That's from Woodland Wonders. And I thought this would go really cool with this cave page if I cut them out and I post them here. And then also in this book, I try to use my gel prints. So what I could do is I could cut this gel print, rip it up, and put it on here, and then paint out, blend things before I add this. Like I'm going to cut them out so we can see the background. So I thought that would be cool. We could probably do that one today. And here too, I wrote transfer, then wipe before adding the page. So this would be a good one to do an image transfer. So I think we'll do an image transfer of that one today. And then what I'll do is I'll wipe off the paint, and then I'll cut them out. And they'll just be a little bit more distressed. So that's the other side of that page. But I did scan, even though I'm not crazy about this side, I did scan both sides so that I don't have to worry about, you know, cutting that up. So I'm going to keep this one out because I think we'll do a transfer of that one so that we do a little bit of jelly printing today. So here's another one I did where this tunnel was here and these buildings were here, and this, was this mountain here? No, this, I added that. So, and everything else, and this was added too. So these two were added, these two were here, this was collaged on, and all the paint and blending was done. And these planets are jelly prints, and there's jelly prints in the ocean, not the ocean, but the water. So it's a great way to use your gel prints. This one, I've had this image here for a while. So sometimes if I find an image, I might stick it in the book and save it for a later date. So I thought that would be cool here. And then I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have this robot standing over here? But I would paint everything out in black first. And then I think one of these robots would look cool coming out of here. And I'd already added this piece of paper. See, this is where I just stuck down a piece of paper to kind of join this sort of statue to the scene down here. See how it kind of brings them together? But first I would paint out the background before I added any of these images. So like I said, I don't know that we're going to get to all of these pages today. I'm just showing you my thought process. So I don't mind cutting up, you know, cutting this, and I did scan it, but I don't mind losing those guys. But I would definitely, I might fussy cut all three and see which one I like better there, and then I might change my mind. Maybe I'd put one here, and you know, it's not set in stone. Okay, so the next one, this is one I completed, and I usually write the year, so this was 2019. And this has a Catherine Anderson door up here. And then I did like Dede's misty technique where she rubs it with a baby wipe. And then, so this was here. I think that's all that was here. It's just this little part was here. Everything else is painted out and then collaged on and then blended with paint. So this probably took me 2 weeks to do. And then color pencil to make a nebula across. So that's why we won't get a page done today, but we'll get something started today. All right, this one here, I've had sitting with these ideas for a while. So this is from the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. And I thought that would look cool on top of the Colosseum. And then I had this picture here of an eyeball. And I thought that would look kind of cool sitting there. Could paint it all black. And then I thought one of these robots, it could be like this is a spaceship. Because I actually went here, and when you look up, you feel like you're in a spaceship. So I could take one of these robots and I could collage him like he's jumping onto this world or something. The name of this book, the one I'm working in, is Unforgettable Ancient Sites. But you use whatever book you find on sale, whatever book you find interesting. I know Coloring View, she got a Star Wars book that she's working in, and she also got a compilation of abandoned places, which looked really cool, but I couldn't find it. It was really expensive if I found it. And Jane, she has a playlist, or I don't know, playlist, but she has some videos of doing reverse collage. I think one is like a rock star book about rock stars. Yeah. Christine says, I cut the fish out so perfectly from the page. It would be fun to slide something behind it. Yeah, that would be cool. So let's say I want to use that page. I could slide something behind it, take a picture of it, and use that, right? So I think that would be fun. And again, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. All these pages that I've added to sitting in here, like these Collage Soup pages, I have done a scan of. So I'm going to stop saying that now. Jane says, go thrifting. Beth says you can use Google to find used books. This one I've always had this sitting here, ready to go. Let me just tell my son that I'm streaming. Can you guys hear him doing the dishwasher? I'm just going to send him a quick text. He's trying to be helpful. So I picked him up from the airport yesterday. He just got back from Thailand. He went on a university trip for a competition, a business competition, and he had fun. They did well. I'm just going to write streaming. And then hopefully he'll get the hint. All right. I thought this guy would be super cool if I fussy cut him and put him here, and then he's playing with Stonehenge. So I'm going to actually just, I think I would rip this part. And then I think I would fussy cut him like this. I'm not the fastest fussy cutter, so I might approximately fussy cut this just to show you guys a better idea of what I'm thinking about. I might have to yell. Can you guys hear the dishes? Jane says, yeah, she can't do a page in one day either. Yeah. So we'll start a page or two today. I don't think we'll finish one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not in any hurry. I could maybe even go a little bit late today. We'll see. So I'm just using. And if you don't want to fussy cut, like let's say you don't have an image that would be good to fussy cut, you just tear the edges and then the edges blend in. Dede has shown that many times. You can blend the edges in with paint if you just tear it. If you cut a square, the square is going to show. So here I'm going to have to get creative with his little paw because I don't want to include the sandcastle, but I might want to keep the sandcastle for another collage. So I'm just going to pretend that's his hand. We can paint in his hand if we want. I thought this one would be pretty easy to fussy cut to show you guys what I'm thinking for this page. And sometimes doing these reverse collage pages, what takes a long time is finding the right images that you want. But with these Collage Soup books, you know, depending on what theme you like, you buy the books that appeal to you and you can cut and collage. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of that. Now, I would not glue this down until I have the background painted out, because then that just makes more work for me if I have to paint around it. So we're almost done this fussy cutting, and then we'll keep going here. I could have fussy cut this ahead of time, but I wanted to show you guys, you know, both sides of the page. Okay, so, and then we could use the sandcastle somewhere else, even on this page if we wanted to. So these were cool. I forgot to show you guys that. These are cool, but you know what? I have a scan of that, so I don't have to worry about cutting it. It's not a big deal. All right, find another, yeah, Beth, find another hand and serge it on there. So I could do that, and then I could rip this more, and then I could use jelly prints to, or paint, but I could use jelly prints to add more beach on the bottom. And then I could paint out this color to match if I want it to be in the sun, or I could paint out, I'd probably paint out black and make it kind of space. Maybe make the space go like this and then have some wispy stuff. What type of paint works on the glossy pages? So Dede uses matte medium to glue down her images, which I'll show that. She uses it on the back of her paper, on the book, slaps it down, uses it on top, and then scrapes it down, smooths it flat. So check out her video for the how-tos. And then she uses craft paint to paint out because it's matte. So if you want to use colored pencils over top, it's easy to do so. So just plain Deco Art acrylic paint that is matte, because then you can use color pencils over it. So I think that's going to look cool. I like how this ends here. So we could just blend it to grass, or I could use a gel print to make it look like sand. And then I would definitely rip this. And if you rip away from you don't get a white edge here. But see, if I rip this way, I get a white edge there. So if I rip away from me, I don't get a white edge. So you can just alter which side you're ripping on. So I hope people are okay that we're doing this today. So I'm going to put that there, maybe not today, but someday. And then be careful going over the crease. So I would probably cut that and then glue it. Actually, I don't mind where it's cut there. It almost looks like he's grabbing this. I could paint a thumb and a finger here so it looks like he's placing that. Okay. Next one, let's see. This is one that I did. I have a whole video with this one. This was for a maker's creative collaboration. And this was done in 2022. This one was a lot of work. And there's a lot of gel prints in the water here. They're hard to see because you paint around them. Okay, and the next thought I've had this bird sitting in this page for a while. So I'm going to fussy cut him. I'm going to paint probably space and then join it, like kind of go up here and maybe paint some bricks to kind of join there. Have this guy up here. And then I thought I could do one of two things. I could fussy cut out this parrot and put it there. Or, and that's the back side of that one. Or I could fussy cut out this cat. He's like, oh, come over here, birdie. That's the back of that one. Maybe you guys can vote which one you want me to do eventually, the parrot or the cat on this page. And then I thought I could put one of these beach houses up here on the other side. And that's the other side of that page too, which is really cute. Maybe what I would do is I think I might keep this one and print this out on my paper and then cut it out and put it here. You guys still here? There's nobody chatting. Are we still live testing? So let me know what your preference would be for this page. Do you think you guys see a parrot or do you see a cat? Whoops. So we might get to that one today. I'm going to test the chat. No one's talking. The birdhouses or cat. Still live, good. These guys, I thought would be cool to cut them out and have one running down this stair and one running down that stair. But again, I would have to paint out the background first, and then we'd find different things to add. Parrot, parrot, parrot. One cat and a bunch of parrots. I thought this would be cool. These little sun tanning guy robots. I could cut out their beach chairs and then have them here like they're, maybe we'd paint out this sky. Could keep this here somehow. Maybe put a bright star there that's like shining down on them. It's fun to just imagine, like sometimes your imagination is better than what your page looks like. And that's the other side. That's pretty cool. And everyone's going to see different things and different ideas. Oh, this I've had in progress for a while. I want to put these different shapes up here. Let's see where else. Oh, I thought the sunbathing robots could go here too instead, or maybe both. I could print it out, right? Because I do have it scanned. I thought these guys would be cool, like, because there's lots of sand here. I could put them resting there. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them out roughly just to get an idea. I'm not going to fussy cut them right now, but just to get an idea. So I would fussy cut the top part and leave the sand on the bottom. So they could be sitting here on this scene, or they could be sitting here. Jackie likes the idea of the bird looming on the cat. Cool. Hi, Dana Yates. Did I say hi to you, Jackie? I can't remember. So I'll just leave that there for now. And then this was one I did in 2021. So I like underwater things. I'm a Pisces. So here there's some jelly prints in the water, a jelly print planet. I think I added this piece, the jellyfish. This was here already. And then I added these things around it. Turtle coming out, some planets, the sky. This one here, I glued down some sea stuff and I painted this out. So here's an example when you paint it out. I would definitely put another coat on this one. I didn't do a great job painting it. I think I was thinking I would do underwater, so I might want to do blue, so I didn't go too dark. I started this book, I think in 2019, and then this would be cool maybe if I fussy cut it, or I don't know. And then I found this book, this shark in the Collage Soup book, and I liked how his wings kind of match his wings. So I thought I could fussy cut him and put him over here. Again, I'm not going to fussy cut. I'm just going to kind of rough cut him for a second, just to show you guys. So I will show you this book from time to time as I do things. We definitely will do something today in it. We'll get some stuff glued down. But I just want to show you like my ideas first. So he could be like swimming. I could put him here and extend his wing. I would have put him here, but there's not really enough room. He's going to blend in too much. And then I had like little bits of reef left. I thought I could maybe collage around here. I think that's why I didn't totally paint out the scene. And then these are from Collage Soup as well. I thought I could put this little house down here with the scenery. So anyways, this can keep you entertained for hours. All right, this is a completed one from 2019. Bye, Joanne. Good to see you. And these don't have any gel prints. These are just cut out from magazine. I just cut circles out of this shape. And then I paint, that's collaged on. So this temple was here and this guy was here. Everything else is glued on and painted out. And then I painted in like the rest of the tiger. We're getting there. We're going to start something soon. This one I want to add a polar bear to. This one I thought we could do today. So I've had this octopus from a calendar, fussy cut, and sitting here for a while. So I've always wanted to put him on this temple like that. And I had this little piece just kind of tacked down. That might be cool here. And then I thought this guy would look really handsome over here. So we could, I think I might do an image transfer of him and then and wipe it back and either use him or use whatever the image transfer becomes. We could put him offset so that we can see some of the building and do some painting. And that's the back side of that one. So we're going to image transfer him as well today. And then this I had just sitting here. I thought I could even collage this in as the ocean behind. It's just a brayer off. And this one was from 2021. And this corridor was here and this temple was here. And then everything else I glued on and painted in. And I don't think, this one doesn't have any gel prints. Right, Yuda? The octopus is perfect there. Dede often puts watches and watch hands in her collages. Let's see. And then this one here, I thought it'd be cool, this Collage Soup book from Something's Fishy. I could fussy cut them and I could put them in between the moa from Easter Island. Maybe some's peeking from behind if it's not a full one. But again, I would want to do some painting out, maybe make this space or make the whole thing space. Or maybe make this, I'd probably make this water with some gel prints and some painting and then make the top part space and then have these octopus on there. Diane says she has a hard time cutting up precious scrapbook papers. Yeah. And then I have a few notes and ideas. Let's see if any are worth showing. Oh, this would be cool. So botanical print, I've had this sitting here for a while. I just liked how it went with the color. So I could cut that out. I could maybe cut out each part and glue it here. I just thought it looked nice with this color. There's another one that was like a calendar page that I thought looked really pretty, but I don't know if I took out the marker for it. Sorry, this is really up close. Oh, this one. So I just thought that's just beautiful by itself. This is not so beautiful. So I could have, I could reverse paint this out and attach this here somehow, but I thought maybe just putting this simple book from a calendar, right, would be really pretty. So you can do intricate scenes and worlds like Dede does, or you could just put in things that, appeal to you. A lot of us also have that forest book that we're just adding, we're not painting in, we're just adding pieces to. So I'll show that a different day. So let's do a couple transfers and then we'll work on a couple pages. If you came in late, I was inspired by Dede's collage disc that she sent me, Dede Willingham. And she just sent that to me because it has some of my gel prints on it. And that's from the Robotropica, and I can't remember what book that's from. So I would definitely like to get that book with the cone heads. All right, so we're gonna do 2 image transfers. And then we're gonna fussy cut, do some reverse painting, have some fun. All right, so I did kind of prepare, but it looks like, yeah, I did prime my plates by doing a quick just a quick apply paint, put paper and pull it off. So I did do that. I do find in the Collage Soup books that every time you do an image transfer, it depends on the ink used on here because it resists picking up the paint, but it also depends on the paper used. So I find for me and where I live in my climate, what works best for the Collage Soup transfers is the golden fluid acrylic. It doesn't have to be black. In this case, I'm going to use black. but you can use whatever color you want. Just keep in mind, if it's transparent, you have to be careful what you pick it up with because it's going to affect how your image looks. Hi, Sophia. That's okay. So I could do this in blue. I'm not going to do it in blue, but I could do it in black. I haven't done any testing to see if the Liquitex Basics Fluid Acrylic do good image transfers with the Collage Soup. So I could do that because this one we want to put on that page with the brown, but I don't feel like doing that today. I think I want to do this one in black, and then we're going to wipe it back. Let me just clean up my side space here, put my scissors. I'm going to put these, so I'm going to put that back in the Collage Soup. Well, maybe I'll leave it out for now in case we use that little sandcastle. Now when you do the transfers with magazines and you use, I like to use the Liquitex Basics for those mainly, you want this almost see-through, like you want it so thin that it's see-through. This one, I don't find that if you try to get it too thin, it starts drying because this dries faster. So it starts drying and then you just start picking up paint. So I find that with the Collage Soup books, I don't find the Liquitex Basics works as good as the Golden Fluid Acrylics. Now, I know that Diane Bell, she said for her botanical prints, she uses the Golden Open. I only have this ultramarine blue one, so we could maybe give that a try, but this might be too long drying. I don't know if it would stick to that. So we have a couple experiments maybe we'll do if we have time, but I don't know if I feel like experimenting. Let's see. Okay, so we're just going to put on some paint. It's always better to put too much paint and take it off than to have too little paint, because that's when you run into problems. So here, it's actually not super thin, but I can see the edges are starting to pull up. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that on there. Give it a quick rub. Not too long. And pull it up. So see here, I didn't actually have enough paint, so it didn't work. This one worked perfectly, this one not as well. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that back before it dries fully, because this is actually the image I want to use in my collage. So if it looks okay, or I might end up using that one. Options. And you can do multiple transfers using these Collage Soup images. You can use colored images too, but they have to be high contrast. So I'm just trying to wipe that paint back, because I was thinking I would use this image, but now that I've used the black, I'm not liking it as much for what I wanted to put it in, so we might have to use this lady. So, and I have wiped back before without too much problem, but for some reason, just going to keep going. If you wanted to do a repeat transfer with this, you would have to let it dry first. This might be too grungy for our collage, for our reverse collage. So let me just dry that for a second. Actually, no, I'm just gonna let it dry naturally. So if you can see, it really, yeah. So we might have to use the one that we do here in our book. It's worth a try though. I'm just gonna pull up the page I wanted to put that on. I think it was this one. Just gonna put that. So then you have to let this dry before you try to pick it up. Sometimes you can pick up directly without letting it dry if you have a paper ready. See, now I don't like the color with it as much. So I have two options. One is I could print out the one that I scanned and cut that up and put it here. But with the matte inkjet printer, you have to be careful with matte medium. So I'd have to, if I print this out on a piece of paper, I would have to spray it to seal it, or I'd have to put it like on the plate to seal it, if you know what I mean. Yes, it does depend on the paper. So I think we'll do is we'll pick up this one. Maybe we'll use some pan pastels, and then we'll pick it up using like this color here and some whites, some Titan Buff. We'll do that. So we'll let that dry. Always be prepared to alter your plan. So I could fussy cut that, but yeah, usually it wipes off better than that, but I have done this before where I wipe it off and use it, but this one didn't want to work. That's okay. So perhaps for this guy, which is going to go on this page, maybe we should use something more transparent so that when I wipe it off, we could use this blue so that when I wipe it off, he looks more bluish. We could add some details back, or I could use this brown. Thinking. Let's try the blue. Yeah, so like Yuta said, so if you have a printout on copy paper, you can put matte medium on your gel plate and then take your image and you can just stick it straight down and then let it dry, pull it up. And then that way you don't get brush lines, you don't get smearing. Yeah, I think blue, we'll do blue. And then we'll decide if we're going to use the transfer or if we're going to use this guy. All right, fingers crossed. Let me just put that back here. He will face the opposite way. No, he won't, because I'm putting him down, and then he'll be the opposite way down on the plate, but then when I put the paint and I pick him up, he'll be back this way. I think, right? Yeah. Like when you do image transfer of text, the text ends up the correct way, if that makes sense. All right, let's get out our other plate. Now he's very big, so I want to make sure I don't cut his head off here. So I'm going to make a mark on the back side so that I know where to place him. Now I hope I'm not wrong, Juta, I could be wrong. So that's going to be my mark here. Or just know that I need the top to just be lined up or slightly above it. All right, let's try this, and then we're going to wipe it back and see how he looks. So this is a manganese blue hue, and it's transparent. So I don't personally love using transparent paint for doing image transfers. I find the pickup is always iffy. Oh, I need more paint. So that is selling up a lot. Getting a lot of the cellular thing, which looks cool. But to me, for transfer, I think I need a little bit more paint than that. A little quick. It looked green because my plate's yellow. Hi, Patty. Okay. So he's super faint. but he looks cool. Let's put him on tracing paper. That, or can we do that? Or I've got this brayer off that I have already. I'm just gonna stick it down and see if he stays on there. I don't know. We'll see if that worked. And I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm all out of wipes though. So in these reverse collage books, it's kind of endless. It's just your imagination, right? See, it's already dry, but I don't mind the blue. I'm just gonna wipe it back as much as I can to see if we can get some of that brown. But I'm not mad at it. I think it looks kind of cool. I would definitely want to add some blue to his little tentacle here though. So we might just keep him as is and cut him up and put him in the book. So definitely the Liquitex Basics is easier to remove from your image, but I don't find that it works. Like I said, I don't find that it works as good with doing the transfers in the Collage Soup books. But we could try one more. Maybe it's just me. Maybe my technique has changed. I don't think we're going to end up using that part of him, but perhaps we should just paint it just in case, because we're going to fussy cut him. So because he's going to be in an underwater scene, it's not so bad. Okay, I'm going to throw that in some. Okay, so I'll let him dry before I cut him. Let's see if this worked. Sort of, super faint. Kind of worked. So that would have been better if I had put it on like a white background, but here we get, see, that's why I don't, the transparent paints, I don't like them for image transfers, because I know I did have like paint in the background, but it's a little bit harder to see. I think we should do one more experiment. This is dry. Oh, no, it's not dry. Let me dry it, and then we'll try it with the brown Liquitex just to see. Yes, he's underwater. I find the golden fluid, Julie, I find it dries a bit too fast for magazine transfers. But that's just me. I think it depends on your humidity and all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's try this. This isn't the best experiment because because this isn't a pristine image, right? So it's not like the truest experiment we can be doing. I'm just gonna wipe up a bit of that blue. So we'll do this, and then we'll colorize our RAM ladies on the gel plate. So I really appreciate everybody coming to my live streams or watching the replay. I have lots of fun hanging out with you guys. So let's try this. If it doesn't work, we'll try it on a fresh image and see. And this is an opaque paint. So let's see how this looks. And the blue on here is pretty dry. Ooh, it really, I might have had too much on there because when I put it down, it went smooshed. So I'm holding it down just a little bit longer than I would. Yeah, that didn't work at all. That did not work. I think either it was too thick or my image is just too degraded. So let's wipe that back. Get my cool little bubbly pattern though. They're looking kind of cave drawing-ish now though, aren't they? I'm gonna let some of that brown stay on there. That's a mess. All right, that's okay. Let's let that dry and then we'll just pick it up with another color just because the texture is cool. Let's colorize this. I'm gonna grab my pan pastels. So remember, this is going to go on our cave page. So I think I'll use this creamy yellow for their faces, which is yellow ochre tint. So tint means it's lighter than this is the yellow ochre, I believe, here. Yeah, so that's yellow ochre. Oh, sorry, that's yellow ochre. That's yellow ochre tint. I'm not going to bother with this one. We'll just do these two. And I need a tool. A soft tool. And I think I'm going to be fussy cutting them out. So I'm just going to use this yellow ochre for their faces and their horns. And because I'm planning to fussy cut them out, I'm not going to worry too much about being exact. And we'll just pretend there's feet down here. I don't know where they are, but here I can see her feet. And then I think I'll pick this up with the quinacridone nickel azo gold because I think it'll give us that cave drawing vibe. I don't know if you can hear that banging, but there's construction right behind us. I think her hand is here though, right? I think that's her hand. That's her hand. We'll just draw those on. This one, I can't really see her arm. It's a bit off there. Let's pretend it's there. I don't know if it's there. Okay. See, 2 eyes and a beak. Okay, let me just put this aside. And we're going to do the pickup with this. Just on some paper. And then while that's drying, we'll go ahead and this is the quinacridone nickel azo gold, which is extinct. I heard the red iron oxide works pretty well. It means a fresh brayer because that big one is still drying. could do, what might be cool, is I'm just thinking, I see this little texture thing. We could put some texture on their dresses. Whoops! Just because. Okay, give it a good rub. I learned a trick, I don't remember what channel it was, they said if you turn it over, then it helps your paper not wrinkle, but I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard putting a book on top can help it. This is just that texture. We're gonna just pick that up with some light colors that maybe we might rip up to put on the cave page. We'll see. We might need some extra collage fodder. So maybe I'll pick that up on tracing paper. So I've got the Naples yellow and just a bit of unbleached titanium. I find that unbleached titanium very dark. I was looking for some Titan Buff the other day at Michael's. I wanted just an inexpensive brand, but I couldn't find one. Okay, so we're gonna let those two dry. Put them over here. And let's cut out our octopus and start on that page, and then we'll do the rampage. The rampage. Rampage. Okay, I think that was this pink one here. And like I said, I've been feeling the urge to start back in this book for a while. So as I do pages, they won't all be on screen, but as I do pages, I will show you guys from time to time what I've done. All right, so we're gonna fussy cut him out. He's gonna go over here. I'll fussy cut his whole torso, and then we'll decide if we wanna make him shorter or not. So I find it hard to look at chat when I'm fussy cutting. Yes, a lot of people will do that. If you find your paper's ripping, Sophia, you can pull the jelly plate off of your paper instead of the other way around, especially with bigger jelly plates. I've seen Robin McClendon do that, various people. The problem is if you have your plate on an acrylic plate, then you can't really do that as well. I usually don't find I have issues with my paper ripping, but I have done that sometimes. This is a lot to fussy cut, I'm realizing, as I'm looking at all the tentacles. Zooey mama, what was I thinking? I'll fussy cut until the other stuff's dry. I don't know if we'll get him all done, because I also have to cut in between, like, I want to cut out that part too, and I got to paint the background. I don't know if I thought this through, but I at least want to see how it basically looks on there. So if you want to see how to reverse collage with expertise, check out Dede Willingham, obviously. This is inspired by her, but everyone, you know, can put their own spin on it, their own take. And Dede usually recommends using craft paint in here, like on your, to reverse paint out things. The other thing with artist paint is it can kind of stick together, but if you cover it with matte medium, it won't. Also, if you cover with matte medium, you could use colored pencil on top again. Oh, no, we won't have that fish. So I gave my sister the birdhouse on the weekend for her birthday, and she really liked it. She was able, I warned her to stay away from my YouTube and my Instagram, so she was able to stay away enough to not have a spoiler. So she was actually surprised when she got it, so that was nice. And I believe her. She's not the type to lie and say, oh, I didn't see it. Like she would tell me, she would laugh. She would be hard to, she's not a good poker player. Let's just put it that way. If I played poker with her, I would, I think I'd win. We might be able to use pieces of that elsewhere. Keek said you leave the blue between the tentacles and just say he's underwater. You could do that. But I want to bring this page across to that page somehow. So I'm not sure if they're going to be underwater, or in space. I could leave it and paint it to match the background. There's lots of options for sure. So let's just take a peek. So he's going to be there. He's very dark. Oops, I think my head just about hit there. We could make them in space. They could be in sea space. And then I could just paint out with black in between, right? But I might want some of the background to show through, which could be why I want to cut that. If I use the jelly prints I showed earlier, I could try using the same blue I had with him to paint in. Yeah. I think I want to see this behind him though. Or do I? See, this is why for me to do these, it takes a lot longer than for Dede, because I kind of like, I leave it sit for a week and then I look again. Now, would he look good on a black background? Maybe he wouldn't. See, he might disappear on a black background. Or what about, we had this botanical print we did last week. Can we put him on that? Sea space is always awesome. I'm just waiting to see on the camera how this paper looks. Yeah, I'm not convinced. So I think what I'd have to do is I'd have to decide, what do I want to do with this background? Do I want to make it all, like if I rip out this print here, but this print's almost purple and he's kind of greenish. Or do I want to go and print out him from the computer? the color of the sky. Yeah. And then like these could carry on to be like, I could add fog and wispiness to them. Purple and green. So we could do that. We could put that there. Just thinking. I don't know if I'm going to finish this one because I'm wispiness. There's the pink there. I should have done him in purple maybe. I'm undecided. I'm going to just, one thing you can do, Dede talks about, is you can cut along a line to cut in between places. Or you can use an X-Acto knife, but I don't think it takes a lot to cut these. I have a feeling that I'm going to do the rampage. I like saying that, rampage, today, and then next week I'll show you how I ended up finishing this one. Maybe I'll record part of it to show you, not as a video, but I can just play it for you guys next stream. See how that's... Okay, I have a really weird thought. I could paint, oh, I was thinking gold, but I need something to cover, I want something to cover the text. Or do I just go ahead and print out the scan I took of him and use that in the book? See, these are reasons into my computer is helpful. Maybe in some ways it's not, because now I have options and I don't have to just make it work. I can just going to cut out these spots. I'm just finding it hard to see him with all the blue in the spaces. I hope I'm not cutting off screen too much. Okay, let's see how that looks. So we have that. If I paint the background this color and then add these pieces of jelly print, then I could use wispiness to kind of blend it together. I could wispy some smoke around it, because this blue does go with this part. Let's do that. Decision made. Okay, let's, I'm just gonna pull the ram here. So there's one. There's the ram. And her, there, I'm gonna fussy cut them as well, right? with that. So it's got too much. Okay, so okay, let's paint the background while it's drying. We'll work on this page a little bit. So I'm just going to move this over here, and I'm going to get some wax paper. Now, I know Dede uses craft paint a lot, but I feel like this color matches perfectly. And it's the, it's opaque. And I feel like I'm gonna put matte medium on it anyhow. So let's just go for it. I need a paintbrush, not that one. Yeah, this paintbrush is pretty big. Yeah, I think that one, I think it's gonna take a couple coats, but if you paint it out with white first, you probably get better coverage, but we'll just do a couple coats. I haven't decided what here, if I'm going to use gel prints there, so I might just kind of stop here. Okay, let's do a little bit of a heat gun, and then we'll do another coat. Maybe, I know Dede does a lot of finger painting. I think it just gives you a thicker coating. This is more purple in real life than it looks on the screen. So what we could do is, let's do some finger painting. Let's do the purple. So this kind of goes purple to blue. Let's move these guys off. And we'll put some more wax paper and we'll paint out some of the other side too. Okay, I put that there. Let's get some more wax paper. What time is it? Ooh, I only have half an hour left. I feel like I might run long today. Yeah, it doesn't look purple on the page at all, like on the screen. Okay, let's use a lid. And we'll do, this is the light blue violet. And this is the brilliant purple. And we use a little bit of white too. White, I think I'll just use a craft paint. If I can find my white craft paint. And we'll do some Dede style finger painting, which I am not an expert at, but let's kind of blend it around. And then we'll put a little bit of this purple down in here. Okay, do I have a hair there? What's that? A glue stick? Dede will often do matte medium before she does this part, but we're just going to kind of blend it in. So I'm trying to keep the purple more on this finger and the blue more on this finger. Do like a little sunrise, maybe add a little bit of white. Okay, I need a baby wipe now because I need more white on my fingers. We'll do a little bit of a baby wipe smush. Now we are going to have the octopus up here more, so maybe I don't have to worry too much about covering here because he's going to be there. But I think we need to do this part. So this is very thick now. And remember, I'm not an expert at this technique. I have a little idea of what I'm doing, but I'm not an expert. I haven't done this in a long time, actually. The last time I worked in this book was probably 2022. Hi, Jenny Roberts. I think if you add the white to the white and then you spread it and make it look intentional, maybe that'll do something. But you need your wax paper so you don't glue your pages together. A bit more. Whoops. That was a bit too much purple. Because these pages are glossy, it does wipe off pretty good there. All right, I'm going to bring some of this blue down in here because I don't think I want any trees. Okay, and then we're going to match this side up, and then we're still going to add our gel prints, but we just don't need as much paint here because it's the background color is more close to what we want. Okay, so we're going to add other layers, I think, to that. And a bit more up here. Well, that's my, wasn't that my theme for this year, Cat and Paste, Christine? It was fearless and fun. Right, so we'll do a little bit of this. And then this guy is gonna go on here. This guy's gonna go on here. I might still put this here and then we can blend it in, maybe. And then we can still put these little clouds and blend them together with some wispiness. So here you can see the words through. I'm not too worried because that's where he's going to be mostly. And we'll cover everything in matte medium because these could stick together if I'm not careful. I'll probably put more white going across here. Very thick in some spots. Dry the back of it. All right, let's glue. I know I don't know if I'm going to get to this one. I'm just going to show you guys where that's going again. We might end up finishing this page since we found a direction. But I'm just going to flip over here for a second. So the idea with this one is we're going to glue this down here. In this case, I might leave the text showing. I don't think I mind the text, but I'll rip this. I'll glue the text here. This was from our long haul with my hand stencil. And then I'll fussy cut these ladies, and I'll put one here and one there. And then we'll see what else we add to that. Maybe I'll show you guys that one next week. Bye, Keeks. Good to see you. And then this is the other. So this is the print that we did that didn't work. So we could use that as a blending gel print on, where did it go? On this page. We could also use that to blend things together. I could even glue that down first, and then that down. And then maybe the leftover hands I could glue over here. Yeah, that's cool. I think we got a plan for that page. So that's going to be that one. But let's do this one. Okay, I've wanted to glue this guy down forever, so let's go for it. Let's glue him on here. So he's going to go like that. So he's sort of wrapping around. Okay, so I'm going to get some matte medium, and I need a brush. Brush, brush, brush. Let's use a fresh brush. Actually, no, I don't want to use a fresh brush for matte medium. That's a sure way to ruin your brushes. Okay, so let's get our matte medium. I'm going to use the golden matte medium. And we're going to end up covering the whole page because I want it to seal in that paint as well. Ooh, this is kind of... I'm going to put my matte medium in this little container, this protein powder container. And that looks like quite a bit, but it might not even be enough. Okay, so I'm going to take another piece of wax paper and a silicone spreader for my smushing. Where's my silicone spreader? It's never here when I need, whoops, when I want it. Uh-oh, somehow I changed the temperature of that light. Oh, here it is. We'll see, that might not be the best. So this octopus is not from Collage Soup. This octopus is from a calendar. So I'm gonna just do that. Hopefully the paint's dry enough that I'm not, am I wiping the paint off? I don't know. So put it on there, liberal amount, and then you put it on the back. So I'm repeating Dede right now. And then you put your item on here. Where you want it. And then you put matte medium on top. And it seals it in and it squishes it down. Okay, and you use your, she uses a card. I'm going to see if this silicone, you want to smush it down. And that helps get bubbles out, and it helps helps it adhere. I need to wipe that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of do the rest of it just because I have all that paint on there. We're going to want to add some more elements. We could add this piece here. Let's go ahead and add that. Just going to fussy rip it a bit more. Can you guys see it okay? So we're going to add that to the bottom. Copious amounts into the back of your paper. This is also from a calendar, so it's pretty thick. And then I'm going to put it off the edge and we can trim off You can trim off the edge. And then I use this, smush it. Oh, see, I smushed it too much and I ripped some of that paint off. That's okay, we can fill that in. That's why your paint has to be dry, but I'm okay. And then it's a bit wonky, but it will flatten out. Okay, and let's put our octopus man over here. Where did I put him? Here he is. So he's gonna go could put him there. I kind of like this part showing. Just thinking. I think I'm going to put him here so that we have some peekaboo through his arms here. You guys can't even see that. My iPad's in my way. Hi, messy palette. Okay, so I'm going to matte medium a lot of this. We're not going to be shy with our matte medium because we need it to stick down. Okay, and I'm doing a Dede Willingham inspired technique. This is going to be tricky to get all these tentacles down. I'm probably off screen, but I kind of need it to lie flat over here. And okay, I think I got a lot of matte medium on there. Just gonna move him that way a little bit. And then on top. Trying to smush down his tentacles as I go. I might, Dede was doing a collage today and she mentioned like if your hands are sticky, you might actually pull the paint up, so you have to be careful. I think that's from my finger maybe. Okay, now I'm a little worried about this spreader ripping the paint. I'll see if I have a card. I just had a gift card. Yeah, I'm gonna try this here. Oh, it's okay. I'm worried about scratching the paint out there, but we can always kind of touch it up. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we can always add a bit of like Posca and stuff. We can add some fish to the background. Let's give that a bit of a dry. Put this in water. Okay, let's dry this and see. Just gonna take some matte medium. And then you can't close your book while it's wet. You need to let it dry fully. That's too much matte medium. So we have kind of green, purple, and orange. And then we want to glue on Oh, I forgot to glue the clouds behind him. Oh well, we'll have to rip them. So we're gonna glue those on too, aren't we? Let's do that. Whoops. We had our jelly print clouds we're gonna add. Maybe we can have them go kind of around. That. Thanks, Colleen. So if we do, that's too thick. So this is another way to use our gel prints, right? We got all these jelly prints hanging around. I don't think I want any down there. Just gonna take a look here. I think that looks good there. Hi, Kathleen. We're doing a reverse collage. I should have put these pages down, this jelly plating down before. I don't want to take away from him, but maybe we have like a wispy one go here like that. Go across the crack. The McCracken. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then we can add wispiness to cohesify it. And then here, we'll have to blend it more. Okay, let me get some matte medium and let's add a bit more. Get my brush back. Okay, and so we didn't do a lot of jelly printing today, and what we did do didn't really work all that great. Some days it works better than others, right? That's okay, because you know what? We're having fun. Gosh darn it. I'm having fun. Is that funny? Like when you're like a parent and you're like taking your kids on vacation and you're like, we're here to have fun. Especially Disneyland. Ready to leave and you're like, no, we just got here. Sorry, I haven't been totally watching that chat 100%. Yes, fun times. We're having fun. Dede makes it look so easy. Like, oh yeah, you just do this and that, and you put it here and you put it there. Yes, the jelly plate does have a mind of its own. So don't be upset if some days it doesn't work for you. It's okay. It's okay. So the crack, I ripped the paper to span the crack, otherwise it's just going to rip. Which way was that? Like that. And then just watch your sticky fingers on the paper. So this is 3 pieces of jelly paper all put together. So here I ripped the paint a bit. So we can incorporate that, or we could just add more paint after to fill it in. What's that? That was there, right? Once your paper gets really soggy though, I think you're more apt to rip the paper and rip the paint. Make sure you have your wax paper, especially on this one. I have a finished piece just on the other side of this one. And whatever's sticking off the edge, I can just cut later once it's dry. And this golden matte medium does go quite clear. It's quite nice. So this is, you know, I know sometimes I just use the Walmart matte medium, but for something like this, I like to use the good stuff. Okay. Yeah, Julie says, I'm discovering that when I do get gel printing, I need to do a few of them, especially the colors, so that I have enough to use on other things. Definitely. All right, let's use some heat gun. I'm just gonna scissorify this section here for a second. I just want to check on make sure I didn't wreck anything here. I got a little bit of paint through there, but I think that's gonna be okay. Okay, let's heat gun this. See, my hands are all full of matte medium. So we got the pink, purple, blue, bluey green, and orange. It's a lot of colors. And I feel like here we need to do something to really blend it better. And Christine says, did they read this already? The jelly plate has a mind of its own. You never know when it's going to be nice to you. I might have read that already. Yeah, so it's golden matte medium. This one here. Oh, let me put the lid on. This one here, the golden matte medium. It's very smooth. I'm going to put a bit of white wispiness with the baby wipe like Dede shows before we sign off. We still have 10 minutes, so we're doing okay. I think I got glue on the back of that page. And Dede doesn't glue her pages together. She just does each page, and then as you go through it, eventually they just kind of thicken up. I'm going to take these out here for a second. Let me cut this. Sorry for all that noise. Like I said, they're building a house Not right next to us, but pretty close. I'll have to get that one a different way. And this one here. Oops. Cut the page. Whoopsie. And then this one. So I have to cut, I have certain angles I cut better at. We still have all that paint there. This part here, I want to cut this. For cutting edges like this, I find the longer scissors work better for me until you get right to that little crack there. Okay. Now, let's get a Posca pen first. I just want to add some white highlights to the, actually we could use some purple too, actually. Let me get a purple colored crayon to show what I mean. I'm just finding that the octopus sky is a little bit dark. So I think we could add some highlights. So we could add like, you know, we could kind of go through, well, this is a Sharpie marker, but let me get a smaller one. Where did I put it? So we could go over all those little tentacles just to bring them back out, because it kind of got lost in the blue paint. So if you just skip the whole gel printing step, you would have a brown octopus, which is fine, but I did not do that. So I'm just going to use the Posca paint pen. If it's too, you can always like just kind of push down on it to make it less bold or less stark. If you want to just kind of soften it a bit, you can kind of press on it, especially here where he's kind of in shadow there. And then because we use the matte medium, so I'd do these as well. I'd probably give them a little eye shine, maybe here as well, kind of give him a shine spot there. And then his clothes, we could just kind of, I could do that to all the lines if I wanted. And then I'm going to definitely do more of those. And then I could take a purple pencil and I could even like add some purple to his outfit. I don't know if you can see that. So even though this had like not a matte paint on it, I did add matte medium. So because of the matte medium, I can color on it a bit, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe you'll see this better. And then we could add a bit of pink to that. Can you see that? Oh, bye, Tammy. Hi, Lena. Good to see you. I don't know if you guys can see that pink. Maybe I need more of a pastel pink. Now, Christine, Cat and Paste, she had a very good video today about using AI, because you guys, I don't know if you know, but Collage Soup images, they're all pretty much AI, right? So I kind of like how that's giving, like there's light coming from this direction and this side's darker. So we could even add more purple over on this side. Maybe we wouldn't even highlight these tentacles. Maybe we would just use, that's not showing. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think I'd have to do the Posca, or I could use maybe a grabby. No, I think that's too, I'm not crazy about that. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. I'll have to fix that. I think my, uh-oh, Buffy the Vampire. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me just, okay, I went back to, can you guys see me? Am I back? I think my Wi-Fi went kaputs. Can you guys see me back now? I'm back now. Sorry, I think my Wi-Fi must have gone. So yeah. So I think I'm gonna go ahead. What I was talking about when I was disconnected is I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna like do all of the little suckers, and then I'll use different colors to highlight them. So I might use purple here where it's more of a shadow. Maybe a little bit of orange will kind of colorize it. So I'll do all of the suckers. And then I added this highlight with the Posca pen. I just kind of smushed it, and then I also like just re-added it. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of wispy clouds so you guys can see that. Before I do that though, you could use a colored pencil or even a Pitt pen, but I'm going to use a colored pencil, I think, to make a shadow for the octopus. So we could kind of give him like a little bit of shadow on here. Not liking that. Let's do Pitt pen. So Pitt pen is India ink. So once it dries, it's permanent. So I'm just going to do a little bit of the shadowing, and then we'll do the a little bit of wispy clouds. And then before next week, I'll finish that page with the rams, and then I'll also I'll finish this page, and then I can show you guys. So I'm not being super careful about like the light source here. I probably could be more. I just wanted to give the octopus a little bit more depth. And I'm going to get my baby wipe and the white craft paint, and we'll do some wispy Dede clouds. So I'm not going to go over the octopus because I need to finish his tentacles, but see, Dede just does this where she puts that. And actually, no, I might add a little bit of this purple. I make a lavender. And then if you don't like it, you can just wipe it back if you don't like it, or if it go too far. So I'm just kind of putting them together, smushing in my hand, and then some can go over top. Maybe not that one though. I think this should go over top. Let's try that again, because that's behind. I want that one to be behind, but this one here, this one could kind of go maybe over top. Could add a little bit of blue in that one. Now, ideally, you would do this with craft paint so that you could use colored pencil over top of it. So I'm kind of mixing the craft paint with the regular paint. I'm just going to stand up here. I can't see, so I'm going to just use a bit more of just the white here. Just wiping back a bit more so the gel print shows a bit more through there. So let's do, I think we need some more coverage on the bottom here. I think we need, whoops. It's the beauty of the matte medium. Just wipe some away though. I think I'm gonna have to finger paint that one. So that one kind of came away. Just putting it a little bit thicker here. So I'm just using my finger. I think I should let that dry and then add some more mist on top where it kind of came apart there. So I'm sort of pulling it off, I think. So I will work on that before next week. And we'll show you what we ended up doing. I'll show you what I ended up doing. So I think that was my start at some Dede inspired collage. Not sure what's going on there in the middle, but I definitely need more clouds across, but I want to finish highlighting the octopus guy. Hi, Kathy Berg. All right, I'll just zoom in a bit just so you guys can see a little bit closer. So that's kind of where we're going. I don't know if you can see the shadows on the octopus there. And then this guy, we're going to add some highlights and some colored pencil, maybe paint. Give him a little bit more of a shine there on his eyeball. And then I might add something else in the foreground here. I'm not sure. Once I've got kind of some stuff done there, I'll kind of take a step back. That's why it takes me longer too, because I need to mull it over and see if I like where it's going. Just gonna see if I can center it there. Thanks, Dar. So if you have any questions about this process, ask Dede. Dede's the pro. And but I have fun in this book, so I'm going to work a bit more in this reverse collage book. It's a fun way to use gel prints. We colorized him using the gelliplate. We did a transfer, didn't totally work. I've got this other page that I'm going to work on. I'm going to add my jelly print hands, some onto the wall, some up here, some there, and then we're going to add these little goat ladies that we did an image transfer of. And so that's what we did today. So there is a lot thought process involved, and Dede's very, very good at explaining it. But you know, you have to at some point, like I remember when I first found Dede and I binge watched so much of her coloring and her reverse collage and her abandoned places. I just binge. And at some point you have to just jump in and try it. You just gotta go for it, you know? Hi, Apple. The left side looks like it covers the Mirror Visitor Books by Christelle Dabos. I don't know what that is. This is, hi Lydia. This is my Unforgettable Ancient Sites. And I did a bit of a flip through today, and I have a video where I do a flip through. I think here I got to add more purple as well. And maybe some purple mist coming out there. So lots more work to do. Like I said, usually these double page spreads like this one take me like 2 weeks. 2 weeks to do. Yeah, nothing like hands-on. And you know, you don't have to show anybody. Like I show you guys, like I don't really care if I mess up. I think it's maybe my dancing background is like I'm used to just kind of what you get's what you get. This is what you got today. And I'm not going to I'm going to try not to lose sleep over what didn't work and whatever, you know. It's fun hanging out with you guys, learning together. My videos aren't really like demos. They're just me trying things and hanging out with you guys. And so I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed having you guys here. Thanks for coming. I'm going to sign off now, and then I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to sign off, and I do have to take my phone off of the holder. And I'm sorry there was a bit of a loss of signal there near the end, but hopefully people could just fast forward through that. I'll try to put a timestamp where it did that. So, All right, bye-bye. Here we go. I gotta take it off before I can press end.